I have no idea. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
The police have narrowed in on an approximate 1 mile by 1 mile perimeter, asking anyone with at-home surveillance videos from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on the night of the murders to come turn it in. And
So basically, they want the public to do their job for them. They should have done a video canvas immediately after the crime happened. This video was originally aired on December 6th, 2022. And it's safe to say that the majority of videos were deleted by then.
Turn it in. And there's still a cloud of mystery surrounding a nearly 5-hour window from 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. when Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were believed to be at the Sigma Chi fraternity house.
I'm Alex. I'm a reporter with News Nation.
I went to the fraternities and the sororities to find out what they remember.
Just that night, were you here? Was there a party going on or anything? Because the police have this huge window where they're trying to figure out what happened.
The chapter president says he's turned over all information to the police and to the FBI, saying there's nothing they know that the police don't.
Here's a few pics from that night. Law enforcement did not know Ethan and Xana's whereabouts on the night of November 12th until about a month later. You're telling me out of all those fraternity boys and Ethan's own siblings, plus Bethany, and not one of them knew where they were? There are pictures of Ethan, Hunter, and Maisie at Sigma Chi that evening. There is clearly a party. How did no one see them? And why did Bethany take so long to disclose the information she knew?
This morning, police zeroing in on the movements of two of the University of Idaho victims, Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, the night they were murdered, looking specifically at the hours between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. when the couple was believed to be at Ethan's fraternity.
Why are you looking for more information specifically about where Xana and Ethan were in regards to his fraternity house?
That actually seems to be one of the larger areas that we don't have a lot of information in. And so being able to locate what they did that night, to maybe who they contacted, maybe any routes that they took home, that would be important for the investigation.
All of those people at the party with Ethan, and not one of them had came forward and spoke to law enforcement. I bet the majority of them left town. So the question is, why didn't any of Ethan's frat brothers come forward and call MPD? They made multiple pleas to the public to come forward with information. I thought they said they were cooperating with law enforcement.
Potentially, that is critical to the investigation. We don't know. So as students come back and they maybe had seen or been at the location with them or had seen them traveling through campus, we want to talk to those people. That's important to us.
Isn't it funny how he keeps calling it the location instead of saying the name of the fraternity? I'm telling you, there was a cover-up PR stunt from day one.
Well, I mean, it's good to know that now, but no one has ever made a public appeal for this information about Ethan and Xana in that 4 hour and 45-minute gap. And here's the other thing that really doesn't sit well with me, Brian. Ethan is a member of Sigma Chi. He's a brother at that fraternity. And so for someone to say last time they were seen was 9 p.m., if they were at that party for the next 5 hours, somebody would know that. I mean, someone would know. It's his fraternity. That doesn't make
Brian, because I know that it's been hard getting information from Sigma Chi members.
It has really from all the fraternities and sororities. We've talked to a couple sort of people, students, off the record, basically, not off the record, but they didn't want to go on camera because they said, they were told not to speak, that not to talk to the media. They sort of fraternity and sororities on lockdown. It's interesting.
Let's process all of this logically. The 3 female victims had allegedly dropped their sororities the semester prior. Those 2 sororities were on probation at the time of the crime. People don't just drop their sororities without a good reason. You take oaths during initiation. Once you're in for life. Ethan was not living at Sigma Chi anymore. He was having issues with his grades. Maybe that's why. I'm not really sure. Regardless, it cannot be a coincidence that the only 2 people in that house who did not lose their lives were the only 2 in good standing with the Greek system. Honestly, I am not even convinced that all the pictures of Ethan are from that same night. MPD never mentions the Betties Ball, only the frat party. Besides, there are Christmas light decorations in the pics, and a lot of people are dressed up in red or green. Seems like a holiday party if you ask me. I highly doubt Maisie's sorority would have a formal event at the same time as an important football game, and what kind of formal event would be over so early in the night? It just doesn't seem logical. But that's just a hunch I have. I don't know for a fact. But my gut tells me the reason all the Greek students have their social media cleared out is so they can present old photos as if they were recently taken. I will look into it more in another video. Also, we never see Xana in any of those pictures. Even if Ethan really was at his sister's formal and then the frat party, where was Xana during that time?
With her friends all the time.
Avondale father Jeffrey Kernodle, who was too distraught to be on camera, remembering the life of his daughter, Xana, one of the victims of the brutal stabbing at the University of Idaho, leaving 4 college roommates dead on Sunday.
I heard from her before we went out, I think midnight. It was the last time I heard from her, and she was fine.
The murders happened early Sunday morning, rocking the small town of Moscow, Idaho, which hasn't had a murder since 2015, according to state records.
Yeah, we all know that's only because they don't actually report anything.
I have no idea. It doesn't make sense.
He says Xana was in constant communication with her family, and nothing about that night seemed unusual.
The door locks with the number code. Every time you open it, like I had to go back to I had to go around the house to get in the house because of the number code. So they either knew that or they just kind of went around and found the slider open.
A father struggling to understand how this could have happened. Why Xana?
They were just hanging out at home.
Yeah.
Xana was hanging out at home with her boyfriend.
Xana's dad said he spoke to her around midnight and she was home with Ethan. He mentioned it was right before him and Jasmine went out. Not pointing fingers, but I wonder where they went that night, because that seems kind of late. Anyway, my point is, why would he lie? Or maybe Xana lied and said she was home, but she really wasn't. But that doesn't seem likely. So either Jeff is lying, or law enforcement is lying.
2 other female roommates, Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves, were killed along with Xana's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who Jeffrey loved.
Her and Ethan were together about a year, give or take some, whatever, but she really, when I went up there, I saw her just, a week before that. She changed a lot. She had a life.
Let's put this to rest once and for all. He said she changed a lot, not changed the locks.
She had a life. She got to see what it was to have a boyfriend to live with and have a real life. And she really turned around and was being really responsible, helping him out into the studies and stuff. I was really impressed.
Kernodle says
it sounds like he is inferring that Xana used to be irresponsible and had turned her life around. And he also mentioned that her and Ethan were living together. I believe that's true, because he would have no reason to lie about that. And it checks out with what Ethan's frat brother said at the one-year memorial.
The importance of the Vandal family is something that can't be put into words. And there's absolutely no other family I'd rather be a part of. The last thing I remember with Ethan is him and I alone in my room. And he expressed how excited he was to move back into the house in a little over a month. He told me how much he'd missed living with us boys. We started talking about all the fun things we were going to do once that happened.
I just look at that from, I think anybody in America is like, that's the next question, right? Is why them? Like, why would he target these people who he had no ties to? And it just feels like such rage to do that to somebody, to 4 people.
Yeah, and that kind of just tells you who he was, because he wasn't tied to everyone in that room. Ethan wasn't supposed to even be there. And
where was he supposed to be? And why does he say room, as if the victims were all killed in one room?
And, from what Ethan went through, that this guy just wasn't a man of character. He was just poorly built. And,
Wow. Interesting how he specifically mentions what Ethan went through, but not any other victims. Was Ethan the target? I'm not sure when this video was taken, but I know it was sometime in November or December 2022. If anyone knows the date, leave a comment below. In my opinion, MPD started covering up for the frats and UI starting on day 1 with not releasing the 911 call. If they didn't want to reveal the caller, they could have released the transcript and not the audio, but they didn't.
Take the next left onto Nez Perce Drive. Continue for 1.5 miles.
Before I go, here are some random pics I saved that I wanted to share. That's Ethan and his frat brothers in this pic. The timing is kind of icky, in my opinion, but what really got my attention is what's in that guy's hand. Doesn't that look like a big knife? Tell me if you see it or not. And remember this guy from the grub truck? Tell me if you think it's the same person in this picture. Same person or no? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you later.
Thank you.
No, you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, bro.
No, you.
No, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
No, thank you, bro.
No, seriously, you.
No, seriously, thank you, bro.
No, for real, you.
No.